Welcome to another deep dive into leadership. Today, we're joined by Ken Winell, managing partner of Freeman Clarke. Now, Freeman Clarke is an organization of fractional IT CTO executives. They're the folks that come in when you don't quite need a full-time CTO. They're the folks that come in and kind of bridge the gap to help you with your issues and help you scale until you can afford the full-time version. With that, welcome, Ken.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to see you. Appreciate being here.
Glad to have you here today, and let's jump right in. My first question is, in a few sentences, tell us what you do.
Yeah, have you got an hour? No, just kidding. Freeman Clarke, in short, provides small and mid-sized businesses with the appropriate executive level thinking that you want to have with respect to using technology in your business, right? So we provide, the CIO or the CTO or the CISO in security, right? To bring that to a company that normally would want to hire a six-figure person to come in and be full-time salary. You're not going to need that at the size that these businesses are operating in. And so we tend to bring the right professionals who have 25 years experience to the table to help with strategy, with planning, and we can also oversee large scale implementations of things like ERP and CRM, et cetera.
Oh, well, thank you. In my experience, I found that having the right data is absolutely essential. And I found that the IT system can be a tremendous competitive advantage in the market for whatever business I was in. So thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And also for highlighting the security part that you mentioned. Not everybody is aware how important that is. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you can't pick up a paper today without seeing about malware and cyber attacks and, being spoofed or whatever. And it's become almost, it's sad to say, but, since the dawn, and I've been around long enough to say it, since the dawn of network computing, we've seen these cyber attacks on the increase and getting more sophisticated over time. And, obviously, the level of sophistication of people who want with bad intent has increased over time and they've gotten more sophisticated. And there's also state-sponsored cyber terrorism. So these are things that companies should be thinking about. It should be table stakes for any mid-sized business to protect their data. And so it's almost a specialized area of some of the things that we are seeing from our clients.
and thank you for highlighting that because it's not just the national brands that are getting hit with this, but as you pointed out, mid-sized companies also.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of cases right now of companies that actually got fraudulent wire transfers. How often do you get an email that says, "Hey, can you do me a favor and wire $10,000?" And it goes to your CFO. And CFO sees it, it's coming from Mike, and they recognize you, but they don't carefully check their email address and they send it to some spurious bank. I mean, it's case after case. And so those are best practices and policies that you can put in place. And that's where a seasoned professional fractional leader can come in and help.
And thank you. Now, that's a bit on what you do, but please share with us why you do it. What's your purpose?
My purpose, well, me personally, I love and what has got me and kept me propelled all these years is I am passionate about how technology can be used as a weapon or transforming a business, right? And it's really looking at it not from the technology layer of thinking about it from, oh, this is the coolest gadget on the planet. Certainly, I'm the geek who does that, and I have every gadget known to man. But the reality is that it's really being used as how do I use this to propel the business forward? And that's what drives me. And from past meetings and everything, I'm passionate about AI these days because I think that that is the next big evolutionary wave. But
Okay.
I do think that there have been other areas like that in my lifetime, such as mobile phone adoption and laptop adoption, et cetera, that you've seen these high velocity adoption curves that just transform stuff. And I think people need to have somebody who has that passion in their business or thinking about it because ultimately the technology is not the reason for the business unless you're a technology company, that's a different story, but the technology is really there to help you grow your business and scale it and do the things that you want to do. And if you can't think about it that way, you can't just put it in for the bells and whistles. You have to put it in, it has to accomplish something, it has to lead to something.
No, that's a great perspective to keep in mind, and I love the way you set that up. Now, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but if I'm a company and I'm looking at bringing in a fractional IT CTO, um, tell me what the top benefits would be to my company.
Well, there's a couple of things, without in any specific order. So the first is institutional knowledge and understanding how to grow an organization. So the people that come in a fractional role are going to look at your existing team. Is there a progression plan for them? Is there something that they can grow into? So in other words, maybe I have a manager who's an IT person who I've had for 10 years as I've grown the company, and have they maxed out at their professional level, or can I get them to a higher level and show them how to do the strategic planning, right? So that's part one, at the cultural side of things. Number two is really peace of mind. That's the number one thing that I like to say to senior executives at any company is like, what does bringing a fractional leadership do? It brings you peace of mind because you know that you're bringing in somebody who has the expertise and the experience and the knowledge to help lead a successful implementation or project or team and get it done right. And I, as the CEO, I want to be focused on growing the business by going out and meeting with customers and finding new avenues of revenue, right? I don't want to have to worry that my infrastructure can't handle it. And so having that peace of mind is a critical component and it's a real value add for Freeman Clarke. That's what we do. We do it well.
Okay, thank you. Now, that's the benefits your customers get. Let me ask it slightly differently in terms of what lessons have you learned from your customers?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I wrote that down actually, so I'm just going to look at my note here. The the best lesson I can say that I've learned is that clients and our customers typically they think they know what they're asking for, but all too often that's not really what the issue is. And you uncover that, peel that layer back, and you discover, they don't know what they don't know. And it's something, oh, I want to replace my CRM tool because I think my CRM tool is crap and I need to put something new in. Okay, change for the sake of change is never a good thing. But the reality is, oh, my staff is not trained properly on how to use these tools.
Okay.
And so that is something that a senior fractional person would discover. And those are the lessons that I've learned a lot over the time is that really, you know, you got to find out what the cultural impact is. Putting stuff in just for the sake of putting it in makes no sense. You have to make sure and you understand all the nuances around the business of why they're doing something. And I think a fractional person coming in can help you do that.
All right. Now, moving on, if I'm a CEO, what are the characteristics of my company that would indicate to me that I need a fractional uh, help in the IT area? What would I see happening or what perhaps not happening that I need help in?
Well, I'll give some examples and I'll relate it to something that you and I have talked about before. Is right now there's this new technology called artificial intelligence that every business is going to be impacted by, whether they want to admit that or not. It's coming, right? And I don't know what I don't know about AI. And so, if I'm a CEO of a company, it's like, well, yeah, I hear these buzzwords, I see it on the news, everybody tells me I have to do it, but you know what? I make widgets. I don't really see how AI is going to help me, right? And so somebody like me comes in and says, "Oh, by the way, well, let's take a look at how it, right now it takes you 5 days to produce your widget. What if we got it down to 2 days, right? And not by changing staff, not by, but just by implementing some smarter technologies and having repetitive tasks that could be automated, and looking at that digital transformation. I think that's an immediate benefit that CEOs would realize. And I think part of it is that light bulb moment, so to speak, where they don't know what they want to talk about, and you have to be able to like almost Sherlock Holmes and kind of peel back the layer and say, okay, let's find out how this works. And so I think when they wake up, the and you've heard me say this is I want to know what CEOs stay awake at night. What keeps them awake,
Mhm.
right? Because that's where fractional leadership can help. We can address what's keeping you awake, right? And specifically around the technology sector. So I don't want to, misrepresent. If I'm trying to get, funding for a company, that's not a fractional CIO. That's somebody else. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, if I am trying to move the needle and grow, open up more offices, if I'm trying to do more with less, whatever it might be, those are the things that are keeping me awake at night. and understanding that I might have processes that are slow or time improvement. Those are things that we can help with. And that's what I think is where CEOs can really reach out and contact us because we can help them with that. We can ease their mind.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Now, as you've referenced a couple times, we've known each other because we've gotten to work together through our Vistage Peer Advisory Group. Can you tell me, one, why did you join Vistage? And what have you seen of the benefits to you and your business for being a Vistage member?
Yeah, I think it was a really smart decision on our part to engage with Vistage. We originally came to you because we saw that you had these collections of executives that were meeting on a monthly basis, and we thought, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for us to go in there and tout our wares. I've shifted that, and my thinking is that especially for the trusted advisor groups, it is a bunch of peers that we can talk about the things that we're seeing in the market, things that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, on a monthly basis, whatever, and we can share this. And the dialogue and the exchange of information it's inspiring. I mean, I get a lot out of these meetings, and I really feel like it's it helps me plan around my business. It helps me anticipate need and the networking capabilities within the group and being part of Vistage, seeing what these individual groups are doing on the My Vistage site, and being able to address and answer them. I think is a great way to just continue that dialogue and conversation and keep everybody motivated. So it's really good for us.
And thank you. And again, thank you for doing your part, not only as a leader in our group, but also in your sharing. You've been helping educate the entire group on some of the late-breaking technology trends in AI, which makes everybody better and provide better service to their clients because they know what's taking place in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I like hearing about the latest trends from the wealth management groups, and I like hearing what, some of the other people are doing in the finance space. It's like it opens up the potential and it educates me just as much as I'm educating them. So I get a lot out of it.
Okay. Um, all right, let's moving on a little bit. Let's take another tact.
Okay.
Um, as you look back, as you're at whenever you get to the end of your career, when you're looking back, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered for?
You know, Somebody asked me that not too long ago, and I answered them one way, and I'm going to try to do it the same way here, but I'm going to vary on a theme. I've always considered myself a technology futurist. So, so how do I want to be remembered, right? That's what I think about what my legacy would be. Is like I want to be remembered as the person who helped many companies experience digital transformation, right? They can point back and say, at what point did I bring in Ken? And he helped us with, imagining our customer experience for an e-commerce site, or, helped us launch new products of a life sciences company, or helped us with some of the things that I've done have been in sports and providing instantaneous results for finishing and those kind of things. So I like to be thought of as I'm out here in the bleeding edge of technology, making sure that I'm up on all the latest and greatest things, but I'm also bringing that in a sensible way to companies. And I like to be remembered as, hey, that's the guy who I want to ask, hey, is Star Trek for real? And yeah, Ken showed us how that happened. That's really what it is. And the only thing I haven't succeeded at is the transporter, and I'm working on that too.
Well, and don't forget the replicator, because we
Yeah.
want to be able to order that Earl Grey tea, just like
That's
Captain
right.
Picard.
Exactly. Exactly. We got to work on the replicator and the transporter and everything else we have. The mobile phone is already done. The computers will talk to us. AI is there. We're good. And
All
we'll
right,
have
great.
robots soon enough.
That's great. And Ken, thank you for sharing your lessons today with us so that we can all learn from that. What's the best way to contact you?
I think my email, Ken Winell,
Okay.
ken.winell at freemanclarke.us is good. Or you can call my cell if you want it, and I can give you that too.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that both those are on the screen for us. Again, thank you for joining us today. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us today. My name is Mike Tetro. I'm an executive coach, and I lead a peer advisory group for Vistage, for CEOs, and as we're learning here, trusted advisors, other professional service advisors. Um, if you'd like to learn more about Freeman Clarke or about the benefits of joining a Vistage peer advisory group, please reach out. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you on our next deep dive. Bye for now.